Hello my fellowship friends. Many of you have asked about the tools I work with. So I thought it would be nice to give a full overview of the tools I work with, from tweezers to knives to clamps, especially for beginners or anyone who's looking to expand their tool collection. In the first part of this video, I show you all the tools and materials I use to build my wooden model ships. And in the second part of the video, I take you on a short tour through my workshop, my favorite place in the house. Now you don't need everything right away. Just start with the basics and you'll discover which tools will fit your own way of working. Now, many of these tools have been with me for years. So if just new in model ship building, this overview might help you decide which tools are worth getting first. That's for now. Let's now take a look at all the tools that I use. See you next video. Bye-bye. Before starting with the materials, let's begin with the most important thing on your table, your cutting mat. A good cutting mat protects your table, keeps your blades sharp and longer, and helps you measure and align parts accurately. I recommend having at least two sides. A large A2 or A3 mat for cutting long planks or deck parts, and a smaller mat, A4 format, that you can rotate easily for close-up and detail work. Always choose for the big, hard labor a self-healing mat with grid lines for the main work. It will last much longer and stay smooth even after hundreds of cuts. I do also have a few non-self-healing mats, which are harder, and I use it for lighter cutting work, for smaller detailed work, and I have one dirty cutting mark that I use for paint jobs or heavy glue jobs. As you can see here, the glue stains and the paint stains. So a dirty cutting mat, two small non-self-healing mats, an A4 self-healing mat, and you can see almost no cutting marks visible, and one larger main cutting mat. So that's for the cutting mats. And now let's start with the real materials. So the first type of materials are measuring and marking tools, because accuracy is everything in scale modeling. Precision is what separates a good model from a great one. And these tools ensure accuracy before any cutting or assembly is made. First, always use a right angle square nearby to make sure that the bulkheads sits perfectly perpendicular to the keel. A triangle or a protractor are useful when marking decks layouts or mast angles. I always prefer a metal ruler, preferably one that starts at 0. It makes small measurement easier and more reliable. For curved structures, I sometimes use these paper strip rulers, narrow paper strips that can bend along the hull to measure plank lengths for deck fittings. And this is a caliper. I use a manual one, but the digital versions are of course very fine as well. It's essential for checking here the thickness of planks or comparing parts during planking and hull shaping. So these are the measuring and marking tools. Let's go on to the cutting and the shaping tools. So the second type of materials are cutting and shaping tools. Every build starts with cutting and shaping the wood. And for that I use two types of main model knives, a light one and a heavier one. The lighter knife is perfect for delicate cuts, trimming planks, cleaning edges. The heavier knife gives more control when cutting thicker pieces or removing larger amounts of material. You can put more force in it. Always make sure that you have enough spare blades ready. A sharp blade is not only safer, it gives a cleaner, more precise result. especially when working with soft woods like lambwood or balsa. For the scissors, I have two different kinds of scissors, a small one again and a large one. The small is for flax, for textiles and for threads. The bigger scissor is for the large sheets. I do have this one also, I don't know what it's called, but it's very easy to cut threads in the ship itself, and it can cut a lot faster than a normal scissor. So small scissor, large scissor, and this special one. And then we have the chisels. I have 4 big chisels for heavy duty, and to be honest, this is the one I use the most. It's just a flat chisel to remove glue rests or to have a heavy carving. And I have this 12 part set. It was a really cheap one. With the one I use the most is the flat chisel, great for cleaning glue joints or carving deck structures, while the rounded chisel here or the angled chisel helps with shaping details or removing excess wood or glue residues in tight corners. So this is for the chisels. I can recommend these 3 types of chisels together with one heavy duty chisel. And for really smoothing the surfaces, I rely on small precision files. These are 3 rather expensive small precision files, a flat one, a triangular one, and again a rougher flat one. These are the same, but it was again a rather cheap set with the triangular parts, one semi-curved and one flat part, and one round part, ideal for making the small holes. Here also, for the very rough work, I have this big file. For somewhat more details, again a file with one flat surface and one curved surface, ideal for example giving the railing. So a few precision files, a set of easy and cheap ones, and 2 big files. And of course there's the sandpaper, one of the most important tools in model shipbuilding. Keep a full range from coarse, heavy ones to ultra fine grids, and mount some of small wooden blocks for a better control. It's easy when you have to do a lot of sanding. These wooden blocks can spare your hands and wrists a little bit. So I have here the 3 different kinds of wooden blocks where you can put sandpaper around it. And I have regular sandpaper, all different grids. I have this one very microfine file if you want to be very precise. Most of the time I use this wet sandpaper. It's black waterproof kind that can be used with water to reduce dust and achieve an ultra fine finish. You can see here it says where is it here, P500, P250, P180, P80 waterproof sandpaper. These are all these black types of sandpaper. So keep it close, it's your best friend for achieving very smooth results. Waterproof, regular, microfine, and the tools to put the sandpaper around. I don't use them that often, only when it's very large surfaces. Normally I just stir a little piece of it and I do it on the ship. So the third type of materials are the holding and gripping tools, because once your pieces are cut, you need full control while working, and that's where the tweezers and the clamps came in. I use several types of tweezers or pincets for different jobs, but these 2 I use the most throughout the build of a ship. These 2 have curved tips, perfect for tying knots during rigging. If you're new to rigging, I really recommend learning these 2 types of tweezers in each hand. It gives balance and precision, especially when handling fine threads. I also use here a thin straight tweezer for tight spaces, and one locking tweezer, the kind that stays closed on its own. You have to push it to open it. It's great for holding tension on the rope or keeping a part steady while the glue dries. I also have two old ancient tweezers which I use when I have to burn something or I have to paint something and I don't like to get my fingers dirty or sticky. But these are not for precise modeling, these are just for the dirty paint and holding jobs. So that's for the tweezers. And then there are the clamps. I use 3 large clamps for holding planks on hull sections and about a dozen smaller spring clamps for the lighter works. And to avoid marks, you can add, for example, felt or cork in the jaws of the clamp. And these two are also for putting larger things together on the hull. So 3 types of clamps. And sometimes you can't make it on your own. I have this precision stand with a magnifier and clamps. It's actually a third hand or a third eye. You can put the masts or the eyebolts here in. You can put it behind the magnifying glass and you can watch very closely what you're doing. So it's very handy, not need to have, but it's very handy for the very small detailed work. And finally here, a small table vise mounted to the workbench, perfect for holding pieces at an angle while cutting or sanding. So the fourth type are the bending and forming tools, because wooden ship modeling comes with the unique challenge, bending strips, sometimes in 2 different directions. And there are several ways to do this, and I use mainly these 3 main tools. First is a manual plank bending roller. You just soak the plank in water for a few minutes and then roll it gently to form a curve. Perfect for the first layer of planking. And depending on where you put the main roller and where you put the plank, you can get more or less steep curves. To be honest, I don't use this one that often. I did it much on the earlier builds. Now I use mainly this second so-called shrimp tank. It makes small cuts on one side of the plank so it can bend more easily around sharp curves, especially near the keel. Depending on the distance between the cuts and the amount of pressure you apply, you can get lots of curves or small curves. The disadvantage for using this notch making machine is that you can see really the curves on the inside of the plank. Finally, this is the electric plank bender. It's momentarily my favorite tool for precise bends like railings or the second plank layer. You just put the plank here, apply a small amount of moisturizing water on the top of the plank, and then you apply the heat, you roll it, and you form the plank to the desired curves. Some modelers use just a household iron. I did it too for a while, but it's no longer accessible in the house. With model shipbuilding, a lot of sewing comes with the job as well. So for precise but larger cuts, I use this figure saw. For smaller devices, I use this type of saw. I know there exists some preformed pieces where fixed angles can be sewn, but I don't have it. It would be handy. When you have to cut a lot of pieces on the same size, you can use this tabletop cutter. This is a very light and basic version. It is not precise. There are some very larger, more stable cutters where you can fix the cutter at the fixed angle, but it do the job when you have to cut a lot of pieces approximately to the same size. And sometimes it can be handy to saw inside the ship and have these spare saw blades that I can put on this heavy duty model knife. So for sawing, figure saw, smaller saw, table cutter or the hand saw. The fifth kind of materials are the metal working and fastening tools. Metal fittings bring another layer of realism to the build. Think about brass rods, rings or tiny nails. For shaping them, I use this round nose plier to bend a brass wire smoothly. You put the metal part here, squeeze it, and you can bend it around the nose. I use these side cutters to trim and flush almost exactly to the surface. And for thicker rods or nails, I use these heavier cutters, like this one or like this one. To hold it or to bend it, I have these regular pliers. To drive nails into the wood, I use these nail pushers. One is for small nails, you have a smaller opening here, and the other one is for larger nails with a larger opening for the head of the nail. You just put the nail in the piece here or here, and you can push it directly into the wood. It lets you push the nail firmly without the risk of hammering beside the nails. And yes, of course, I use mini hammers. Sometimes you just need to gentle tap to make everything fit. So, 2 mini hammers, a plier, 2 cutters, a trim cutter, and a round nose plier. So these materials are for drilling, polishing and detail work. And for drilling small holes, I always start with the pin vise. It's slow but extremely precise, perfect for eyelets and rigging holes. You put a drill bit in the vise, you see this one turns, you can put it in the hand with the drill and you can drill very precise small holes. For slightly larger jobs, I use a small cordless drill with the set of different microbits. And when I need the power or the versatility, my tool, it's a firm, like a kind of Dremel tool, comes in very handy. It comes with dozens of attachments for sanding, grinding, polishing, or cutting both wood and metal. So it's one of the most useful tools in any model ship workshop. Now some smaller tools that can make big difference for detailing and miscellaneous essential. Needle pin awls, like this one, are great for marking drill points, cleaning glue, or adjusting rigging. With different kinds of hook, different kind of angles. I also use a few dental tools that my dentist gave me, with fine hooks and flat tips. So all these tools are perfect for precision work on the smallest of details. And for rigging, I often use this kind of beeswax to use waxed thread. And if the thread isn't pre-waxed, just run it a few times through this small box of beeswax. It prevents fraying and makes the rope easier to handle. One downside, when you will do some serious knotting work, threads treated with beeswax tend to stick to the tweezers, so I don't treat the very small threads that will be knotted with tweezers. So you don't need a dozen of glues. All the glue that I'm doing on my model ships are done with these two, sometimes the third type of glue. So first, this is the wood glue for general construction. It's a very strong professional wood glue from Vise. When something needs to be glued very fast or very strong immediately and I don't have the time to let it dry, I use this acrylic contact glue. And finally, for flags or sails, when you need to glue them, you just can use this textile glue. It's a childish glue from Brit. And that's it for my glues. So this is my workshop, a corner in the basement that is completely mine. It's about 4 meters long and 2 meters wide, but it's more than enough for everything I need. A well-organized workshop saves a lot of time. I can't count how many times I used to lose time just searching for a tool that I had somewhere under the clutter. Keeping things in order makes building much more enjoyable, and it helps me focus on the creative part of my model ship building. My workspace is made up of 2 large shelves resting on 3 cabinets. Each cabinet has its own purpose. Here, the left cabinet holds everything for painting and weathering. The middle cabinet is where I keep all my larger tools and my electric tools. And the right cabinet is for diorama work, things like scenery materials, resin and base structures. On top of the workbench, I have a few organizers. Here left, a strip organizer for wood strips and planking. There, a work cabinet for my most tools used on the first build. I have here a paint organizer, some of the most used reference book, another small cabinet with tools for my second build, a second strip organizer using for blanks when I'm blanking the second build, and another paint cabinet. So that's for my workshop. Now let's take a look at all the materials that I use. So these are the tools I used most often in my ship model workshop. You don't need to buy everything you saw right away. Just start with the basics and expand your collection as you go. The next video we'll take a look at the paints, brushes and weathering materials, all the things that can bring life and realism to the models. If you enjoyed, please leave comments, leave suggestions, click that subscribe button, and supporting my channel is very greatly appreciated. See you next video. Bye bye.